Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Effective Resume Thursday. Very glad you're with us today. It's December 21st, 2023. Please note this event is being recorded and is currently live on Facebook. The recording will be on the Career DFW Facebook page and the Career USA YouTube channel for others to view in the future. By participating in this event, you give consent for your name and picture to appear. Please note that any comments you put in the Zoom chat window will not appear in the recording. For those people on Zoom, if you have any questions throughout the presentation, please just put them in the chat window. Also, for those on Zoom, connect with everybody else who's on the call today. Put in your name, comma, what you're looking, a couple positions you're looking for, a couple target companies, put in your LinkedIn address, connect with everybody else who's on the call today. This is a great way to expand your connections. For those watching on Facebook, if you have any questions, please put them in the comment field. I am monitoring that field, monitoring the thing, and I'll be able to, any questions you have, we'll get those answered for you. Well, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Jeff Morris. Back in 2008, I started a website called careerdfw.org, a website to help those unemployed in Dallas-Fort Worth area. In 2012, I launched a second website, careerusa.org, to help those around the United States. I have written a book called What I've Learned About Your Job Search that you may not know. It is available on Amazon. If you see me in person, I always have copies with me. Since 2007, I've been facilitating and leading the North Dallas Plano Career Focus Group. That group's been around since the late 1990s. I took it over in 2007. We are going to have a meeting tomorrow morning, and I'll tell you about that and our topic at the end of this session. And since 2017, I've been a member of the PIT crew, also known as the Practice Interview Team. Remember, your resume, your LinkedIn profile, they're not going to get you a job. What they will get you is a phone call. How well you practice your interviewing skills, that's what's going to get you your next job. So for more information, go to dallaspitcrew.com. All right, well, today our speaker is Rex Saiot. He's a human resource recruiting staffing manager. He's going to be talking about beating the automated tracking system. This is a pre-recorded session from a year ago. So I'll answer any questions you've got at the end of this session.
And thank you so much for allowing me to present and to serve you today. I'm going to try to do a much deeper dive into the applicant tracking system. And I want you coming out of this meeting to understand how your resume can be more competitive, can stand out through the technology part of the staffing process. This is the applicant, this is with the applicant tracking system. A lot of people want to find out, is there a way that I can make my resume stand out from others within for many people that apply. To the right of the screen, everyone, 80%, I'm believing, I don't have any studies or statistics on this, but I'm believing, I'll be a little bit more conservative, 70% of all candidates who submit their resume on an applicant tracking system will go through Oracle. Oracle is the number one. Oracle Taleo is the number one applicant tracking system. SAP, SuccessFactors, iCIMS, very strong, top 4 applicant tracking system. JobVite has always shown great presence with an applicant tracking system, and Sage HR is the applicant tracking system technology that we use here at JARS. Of these, I've helped configure for my company at least 3 of these applicant tracking systems. What you see on the right, let me see if I can bring my annotator up on this. Do people see a small, a small?
Yes, we see the arrow.
Super. If you are applying for a top company, Fortune 500, it could be Google, it could be Apple, it could be Southwest Airlines, it could be Accenture, it could be Baylor. Your resume is probably going to have to be submitted into that company using an ATS, looking at the numbers that we have, people submitting in their resumes. I took this information approximately in 2018. At that point, the average number of people submitting or applying for a given job is 118. On the average, corporate job offers attract 250 resumes. The statistic that I want to share with this organization is, Rex, how long does it take for the first candidate to hit the applicant tracking system? Jeff, it's about 48 seconds. So what I want to do is I'm going to go over hacks, recommendations, suggestions on how you might be able to be the standout resume, or your resume to be the standout resume out of 250 resumes. I just wanted to let the team know that I'm going to plow through a lot of content, and I'm going to gain speed throughout this presentation. So people on the call, I'm going to go over specifically, I think about 7 or 8 ways to improve your resume so it stands out in the applicant tracking system. The first one that I have is keyword optimization. Now, I know that people have gone through a lot of workshops that say that keywords are the things that will pop up most when applying for the position. Basically, the keyword content that you have will help score your resume best and have your resume stand out of, I'm going to keep on using the 250 resumes that gets submitted into corporate jobs. It's not only keywords. I want to point out to the team that the ATS algorithms are getting so advanced. It's not only the number of keywords, it's the location of those keywords. So when Rex, what's the application learning that you're trying to get through to me right now? When you do the resume, and I call it the job title marquee, that where your resume will show the job title that you're applying for. It is the job title that is in the job posting. Put that job title right underneath your name. When you do that, the ATS algorithm will give you a higher score or more points. As a matter of fact, the places or the location of where you put your keywords, the power location is the first half of the resume. If you can overpopulate your resume with the keywords, I get this every time, Jeff. What are the keywords? Is there a special website that says keywords? The best place to find keywords is where? The job posting. Rex, what's the best keyword that I can look at? Job title. So I'll give you an example of what that means. If you're looking for a position as a senior auditor, the more times that you can put the term senior auditor on your resume, or a deviation of the term auditor, auditing, quality audits, audit control, all of those terms will be picked up in the keyword. This is something that I've never known before, Jeff. If you put that keyword in each job title or each job company that you worked at, your score goes higher. So it's a situation where, for example, I used to work at these companies: Computer Sciences Corporation, Hewlett-Packard, digital equipment, for those people that remember that, Trinity Industries. It just tells people that I've been laid off a lot. If I use the term, I'll give you an example: Oracle NetSuite. In each one of those jobs, your resume gets what? A higher score. And I get this question a lot. How when I put keywords into my resume, what threshold am I looking for? I believe that your resume will stand out if 10% of your resume has keywords in it. I've given you already a hint on what the best keyword is. It's located within the job title. I give this story every time. Jeff has heard this story every time. If you've heard my if you heard my presentation before, you'll hear this story again. I get a phone call, 3 o'clock. It's a Sunday. A person on the line says, "Rex, are you from Trinity Industries?" "Yes, I am." "Are you looking for a accounts receivable manager?" "Yes, I am." "May I have your email address that I can send with my resume to this position to your email address at work?" "Yes, you may." I give him my email address. "Can you get it to me by Monday?" "Yes, I can." I open up the resume. Guess what keyword is not in there? Accounts receivable manager. Coming out of this meeting, people are going to be much smarter on how they manage their resumes. Guess what? There is a new normal, but I like to call it next normal. With the remote or hybrid workforce that's out there right now, that will continue to be a game changer. If you can use the term remote, if you've been working remote at many jobs, your last jobs, put the term remote in there. It will draw more people. Guess what the number 4 word that I'm looking for, that I've seen in analysis time after time after time? If you've mentored people before, supervised people before, coached people before, use those keywords. The more remote that we get, guess what? The more mentoring that we're going to need. If you've been a manager before, a supervisor before, a director before, a vice president before, guess what? You've mentored. You need to show that. Maximizing your internal resources, your professional references. One of the things that, and I've never given this tip before other than this presentation, always provide a professional reference section at the end of your resume. Use or over leverage or take advantage of the trusted network individuals from within the organization that you're applying to. And when you can do so, showing it at the very end, I think people have used the term references provided upon request. My recommendation, put a professional references section. Guess what? If there is an immediate supervisor that's already within that company, using the name of that individual on your professional reference section is going to be a plus for you. If you know of a senior or C-level referral, use that individual's name. Put the job title, put the company name, put the telephone, put the email. Guess what? If it gets to my desk and I see Bob Smith as the Vice President of Operations and Sales Logistics, and you give that individual as a name in the professional references, the first thing that I do is what? I call Bob Smith and I say, "Bob, do you know this Brian Kasperi?" Or Kasperi. I'm hoping that I'm pronouncing that, Brian. And if he says, "Rex, great candidate," guess what? I don't have, Brian's name is a name that I call because of that reference. So put the reference. Rex, you're asking me to do a lot of work, so I'm going to have to go into my LinkedIn, try to find an individual that is in the company, preferably an immediate supervisor or a peer or a C-level person. Yeah, I'm asking you to do that homework. There are a few things that are out there right now than grit and hustle that people can get a job for. You might not be able to You might not be able to control an outcome of an interview situation or a hiring situation, but you can control your effort. Let's go to the next position, learning. Okay, these are some quick hits that I put together. Some lightning round stuff that I'd like your resume to show that might get you around or through the applicant tracking system. Chronological resumes are in. Functional resumes are out. If you have a functional resume, now convert it to a chronological resume. The reason why 80% or more of the resumes are chronological. Why is that important? Recruiters like to see the familiar. If you have to list anything, ladies and gentlemen, do so with bullets. So take out anything that looks like what I call a running resume or running text, and rely on bullets, because the recruiter's eye behavior tracks from left to right, and that we get our eyes start getting lazy if we have to read all the way to the right part of the page. It's been taught a lot, Jeff. I'm just going to reiterate this just for a little bit. How many seconds does it take for a good recruiter to take a look at a resume? 6 seconds. For most of the senior recruiters, it can take 4 seconds. It can take 3.5 seconds. Here's what I'm trying to get across. Devote or design your resume for speed, and using bullets will get more speed out of the game for you. Switch fonts of your resume to something much more familiar. If your resume is in Vulcan or Wingding, it ain't going to work. Arial, Times New Roman, Calibri is a recommendation. In most applicant tracking systems, it gives you the ability to either upload your resume or to type in your resume. My recommendation, upload your resume. And if you could upload your resume, I get this question a lot, guys. Do I upload a resume in PDF or Word? Do it in Word. Why are you saying Word, Rex? Because the Google team is saying that when people upload their resumes on the Google applicant tracking system, it's a better match for them. I'll always go with the Google recruitment team. What's coming on strong, everyone, is Google Docs, or what's called Google Works. Rex, should I go with Microsoft Word or Google Works? Go with Microsoft Word. Why? More familiar. More familiar. My recommendation is at least the first half of your resume show your last or current job. As a matter of fact, my recommendation is in your current or last job, I have something called the rule of 8. Show 8 bullet points that show strong qualification or quantifiable results for that. Rex, give me an example of that. Overachieved, 3 years overachieved sales budget by approximately 43% in new market products that generated $1.2 million in additional company revenue. That is a quantifiable result. Rex, how many quantifiable results are you looking for? If there is a bullet point that you want to represent on your resume, I think it should be quantifiable. Why is that? It gives scope and scale to the responsibility or duty that you're showing. I get this question a lot, Jeff. It probably comes up. Rex, is there a optimal size for the resume? Should I go with the one pager? Jeff, 7 years ago, that the urban myth came out again. I thought it was squashed somewhere in the 1990s. A one-page resume for the people that are on this call, it ain't going to happen unless you put it at 5.75 font. Guys, go to the second page, go to the third page. If it's compelling, I'll go to the fourth page to take a look at your background. So my resume goes 3.5 pages, Jeff, but I'm an old guy. So if you think, hey, should 3 pages or 2.5 pages, completely okay. And I'll tell you why it's more okay. The applicant tracking system, does the applicant tracking system count pages? No, it counts files. A file could be 8 pages. A file could be 2 pages. A file could be 1 page. The applicant tracking system doesn't count pages. Why is that important? The reason why it's important is that you could fit more what? Keywords onto your resume when you do that. I'm giving you what it looks like a weather report. I always give this. This is seminal. If people haven't seen this before, then I think it'll be insightful. If they've been in my presentation, then please bear with me. There was seminal research given by Ladders, so let me attribute them to what you're seeing in front of you. What Ladders was doing was that they showed or they had a visual device put on recruiters to look at where they were looking at on the resume. Let me repeat that again. Ladders had a gaze device on where the recruiter was looking on the resume. Why is that important? Where we look is where critical thinking happens. So I wanted to show you anything that looks like it's in the red or yellow, that's where the recruiter was looking at. So what you see in front of you is now trend behavior. Look where most of those recruiters were looking at. Were they looking at right or middle to right? No, they were looking from left to middle. So JP, on your question, when you on a block or on a job where I see the individual's listing of resumes that look like this, that doesn't track with what the recruiter is looking for. We read the resume like this. So if you look like if your resume again starts going and looking like text or language that takes my eye from left all the way to right, you're losing something from the resume. Now look very, very carefully where my I'm sorry, based on this, Jeff, I like this slide better. There are 7 critical hotspots on your resume that I'm going to be taking a look at. On the first page, my eye is going left, down, left to center, down, left to center, down, left to center, down. Looking at sections 2 and 3, those power spots, what's the recruiter looking at? Your current or last job. That's what they're looking at. And JP, look at how this is formatted. It's by bullet point. Okay, so that's why I always say go with bullet points. Second, on the second page, you're seeing 4, 5, 6, and 7. What's the recruiter looking for in there? They're looking for affirmation of the skill set that you're looking that was started on the first page. By the way, Rex, to get through 1, 2, and 3, how many seconds does that take? About 2.1 seconds. I haven't timed it, but I can scan very, very quickly. Jeff is he's a seasoned recruiter. He can go through these things very, very quickly. I want to point people to section 7. What's usually in section 7? Education, right? Put your education down there, and guess what's going to be down there at the end as well? Your professional references. And they're going to get to take a look at, oh, individual from Texas A&M, School of Business, major in accounting and finance with a specialization or a minor in analytics. Sorry for that for the Longhorn fans. But that's why my recommendation, don't give your resume away for your education too early. A lot of people ask, where should I put my my education? Put it at the end. Force me to look through your resume. Force me to take 4 more seconds to take a look at your resume. And guess what? If you have Bob Smith again as the senior executive sales logistics manager, I get to see that, and I call Bob Smith and I see how great Karen Evans is. Okay.
Rex, we can't see section 7. Are you able to maybe scroll down or
Yeah, let
zoom
me,
out a little bit?
darn it. Okay, but if people can trust me, the 7th critical hotspot, gay spot is number 7, which is the last part of page 2 on this candidate's resume.
And
Okay.
can you, and who did this research again? Somebody was asking, who was the researchers?
Ladders.
Ladders.com. Okay.
This came out when I started to take a look at this, and it started to come out, I'd say 2013, 2014, Jeff, is when I saw it. And most people don't have this, but I the visual was great. So I use it in my presentation and I attribute it. But it was Ladders.
How many references should we list there? Just 1 or 2?
The minimum 3, 2 is not enough. 3 is standard industry. I've seen 5 tends to be the most, but it's also not only the reference, it's the relationship. If it's your immediate manager, that's who I want to get to. If it's the senior level, that's who I'm going to call second. If it is a peer colleague, Karen, then I'll probably call that person third.
Should they be contacts inside the company or just whoever your personal reference, whoever your reference?
Inside the company is more powerful. So if it's a situation where the relationship capital that you can do to squeeze out individuals in, let's say, Accenture. If you're going for a position for Accenture and guess what? The next door neighbor, your next door neighbor, Sally Benson, is the senior executive of communications and marketing messaging. And you are applying for a principal quality control analyst at Accenture. I'm going to be calling Susan, and I'm going to say that, hey, is Karen Evans any good? And she's going to say she's terrific. My next call is to Karen and say, Karen, would you like an interview? Or can I have 30 minutes of your time? So that something that's happening also, Jeff, that I'm seeing coming on over the last 8 months, employee referrals. So more people should be within the company, even that much more eager for you to help, because some of the, I saw something really, really strange the other day. It was a $500 referral fee bonus signing for someone at McDonald's. It was right on the marquee, and I thought, okay, if McDonald's is doing that, then I'm sure that Google is doing that. Okay, so just a note. Let's power through. We had that. Okay. This is brand management. If you can convince the reader that the details of your resume aligns with the employer's distinctive brand, please do so. What do you mean by that, Rex? If you're applying for SpaceX, you know what the brand is for Elon Musk's SpaceX. It's entrepreneurial, it's growth. Guess what? Put that on your resume. Show that on your responsibilities. If you're applying for Amazon, what are they looking at in terms of brand? They're looking at customer obsession. So your key words that you're looking for: customer service, guest experience, guest engagement, service engagement. All of those things will attract the Amazon person. If you're applying for Walmart, guess what? Your resume emphasizes cost consciousness. So, showing your brand and a good alignment with that employer's distinctive brand is would be very, very important for me. Again, Jeff, I'll bring this up. Rex, this is a lot of work. Yeah. A one size, if people are using one resume to apply for multiple jobs, you're shortchanging your resume. Managers know when you are using a cookie cutter, one size fits all resume. Guess what? If it's a one size fits all, it's a one size that never fits anything. The learning is customize your resume. It makes a difference. Let's go to the next. Leveraging. Sometimes timing might not be everything, but it might be the only thing. I'm borrowing this from Vince Lombardi. I wanted to show people, Rex, is there a better time to apply? And the answer to that is yes. If you apply on Monday, it increases your hiring chances 46% of the time, according to TalentWorks. Why is that? Because many people apply over the weekend. The best traffic that I see, Jeff, for candidates, they apply on Saturday, they apply on Sunday because the work week is too long and they get too busy. But if you apply on Monday, I like this analysis. It increases your hiring chances by 46%. If you get getting a chance for an interview, so it's not the hiring, it's interviewing, 5 times higher if you submit your application before 10 o'clock. Why is that? When I get to my computer, I open up my applicant tracking system. What time do I usually look to see when candidates have applied over the evening? It's in the morning hours. So if I see a good candidate and let's say it's Karen Evans, guess what? Karen looks terrific. When do I call her? I start getting my interviewing schedule done for the afternoon, sometimes before, guess when? 10 o'clock. Okay. I saw when I saw this next source from Smart Recruiters, I absolutely positively, of all the stats that I'm giving you guys, I like the last stat. If you apply within the first 96 hours that the job is posted, it'll boost your competitiveness by 64.7%. As a matter of fact, 60% of the and I'm sorry, I'm moving my my images. Nearly 60% of the candidates apply the first week. Why is that? Does it look like Rex is going to take a look at 250 resumes? I can't. If I find the candidate in the first 25, Do I have to take a look at candidate number 26? No, I don't. The learning here, the early bird does catch the worm. If you apply very, very quickly with a customized resume, yeah, that boosts your percentages significantly. I get a lot of questions, Jeff, on Rex. I've seen this position open for a couple of months now. Should I waste my time? I'll say this. Yeah, I've hired individuals after 3 months of having a job posting. But if there's urgency from the hiring manager, Jeff, guess what? They want to see resumes, they want to see candidates, and they want to see hires quicker or slower. Absolutely quicker. Absolutely quicker. I wanted to give information here on who I am, where I am. I just relocated about 18 months ago to Charlotte. I lived 21 years in Dallas, in Louisville, Flower Mound area. If you have any questions, please call. Love to talk to you. I gave you my personal cell. If you want to email me, I've given your team, Jeff, 2 ways of getting in touch with me.
Should we include bulleted summary of qualifications before the experience section? Does the ATS system see and recognize this area of a resume?
Yeah, the answer to that is yes. They will recognize a bullet point. I'll use the term Oracle NetSuite because that's our ERP right now. The applicant tracking system will pick that up in at the first part of your resume in bullet points. So Lisa, if I'm understanding correctly on how you want to design it, you have highlights on your resume, and then you put bullet points, and then after that you start putting your employment history. Guess what? If you put NetSuite, Oracle NetSuite, within your employment area and include NetSuite in every job, the applicant tracking system will give you a higher score than what you get on by putting Oracle NetSuite on top of your resume. So let me clarify that. If you have 4 jobs where you use Oracle NetSuite, guess what? Keep on pounding Oracle NetSuite for every job because the applicant tracking system will give you a higher score in their with their algorithm. That, Jeff, that is a new algorithmic scoring, by the way. It's probably come up over the last 2 years. Guys, here is the learning. The sophistication of the applicant tracking system is, I've never seen it higher. And it's getting better and better, and going to things like what Jeff is doing, understanding how this technology, where people pour 80% of all of their resumes, is so helpful. So keep on tuning into what Jeff and his subject matter experts have.
So do you post jobs during the week and not on weekends, or if you have to post a job, when do you do that?
The best posting day for, here's how I behave as a recruiter. If I was Karen's recruiter, I didn't want her to chew me out on Monday. So she would ask the question on Monday, Rex, did you post my job? And then I would say to her, because I don't want to be yelled at, absolutely. Rex, did you do it before the weekend? Absolutely. I did it when? On Friday. Why is that? The candidate flow is more on which days than any two consecutive days, Saturday and Sunday. So generally speaking, if I wanted to get a jump on that candidate flow, I put it in over the I put Karen's position in, let's say, senior financial auditor on Friday. I'm checking my applicant tracking system on Saturday evening I'm tracking it on Sunday evening.
Mhm.
Taleo does something really, really cool. I can score every posting that says that if I see a keyword match, or if the system shows me a keyword match of 70%, that resume automatically goes into my email, and I don't even have to go into my applicant tracking system. My system forces me to take a look at that candidate over the weekend without me going into the system. So very strong recruiters. I'm checking it, for Karen's hot job. I'm checking it at 12 o'clock Saturday, 5 o'clock Saturday, 12 o'clock Sunday, 5 o'clock Sunday, and I've got some good candidates that I'm ready to call on Monday morning.
Something you haven't talked about, but I know it's true, the ATS does the ATS block tables? So if you have a Word document, you've created a table of keywords or something,
Yeah.
how do the ATS systems handle tables?
Most and let me attribute this, and I want to hear what Jeff says also, because he's a great subject matter expertise. I'm going to attribute this to Dirk Spencer, who brought up in his articles, his books, that in a table, the applicant tracking system, because the table is an image, it cannot accurately show the contents within an image. So I'm going to go with Mr. Dirk Spencer, saying that stay away from tables, because too many applicant tracking systems cannot see the content in that table. Now, let's get around that, because tables are pretty to look at. When you're in the interview and you have your prettier resume that has a lot of table space, that's when you can give it, because someone's eye will not eliminate content in a table. Jeff, I'd like to hear your input.
Yeah, I agree. I think everything you said, just don't use tables on the ATS system. I mean, one of the things I've always heard is take your Word document, save it as a TXT file, because what will happen is it'll strip out all the special characters, all the tables, anything that an ATS couldn't see. And this was years ago. So, I mean, ATSs, I know, are getting better and better. But by stripping it down to an ATS to a TXT file, you've gotten rid of any bolding, everything. You've made it easy. I know Dirk used to always say, left justify everything on your resume that you're going to submit to an ATS system.
Right. I'm gonna pick on the graphic artist, Jeff.
My daughter's a graphic
Prettiest
artist.
looking resumes that I've ever seen. I mean, just beautiful. Unicorns that sit underneath rainbows, with a light rain that's falling. It's an image, guys. I can't see it. Okay, so you've gone. It's a beautiful work of art, but I'd rather see a resume with content.
Right. My daughter is a UX designer, so graphic designer. When she was laid off from IBM along with 25,000 other people, of course, she creates this beautiful resume that matches her website. And of course, she doesn't listen to Dad because Dad doesn't know anything. And luckily, she had a management consulting firm that allowed IBM paired her up with somebody. And of course, what she actually used to apply for a job was what we talk about every day. It wasn't her pretty resume, but of course, kids don't listen to their dads.
Yeah. The tulips with the basket full of Labrador puppies just doesn't translate on the resume, guys. So
right.
Stay away.
So Janet asked, how do you handle gaps in employment, especially during this time of the pandemic?
Okay. At this time of the pandemic, Janet, this is one of the most forgivable times that I've seen in 30 years. If it's a situation, where there is a downsizing, reorganization, or a acquisition, then one can say that, and you could say that on the resume as well. Janet, this is what they're really looking for. Were they fired for incompetence or performance or misconduct? So how you handle uh, the gap of employment, one can say on the resume, it's acceptable, it's okay that the reorganization, or my company's reorganized their accounting organization by 40% and unfortunately laid off 27 people. Okay. Now here is something else, Jeff, that I've seen over the last 5 to 7 years that is totally permissible. It's a situation where people are caring for elderly adults or parents, and saying that you were the primary caregiver for your father is now so acceptable.
It says one slide says Monday was a great day to apply. Does that mean if we apply Sunday evening, that would be the top of the ATS on Monday morning, or maybe pushing it down the list and a bit too early to apply?
Yeah, Sunday's even better. Who gave that question again? First name?
Teresa.
Teresa, the brilliance that I get from that question is that you're speeding up the process. You're speeding the recruiter's behavior. If you have a compelling resume, put it in on Sunday. I'll see it before I come in. Usually one of the last things that I do on a Sunday evening at 8 o'clock is to take a look at resumes. I know that sounds dysfunctional, obsessive, but that's what I do as a recruiter. So submitting it on Sunday evening, totally 100% cool.
Going back to the primary caregiver, Lenora says, I'm a primary caregiver for my mom. When they hear that, they don't ask any more questions. Well, I think the key is you have to make sure, if you list it on your resume, first of all, you don't want to tell somebody you're the active primary caregiver, because anybody's going to think, well, you've got other things to do. You're occupied. You're not going to be able to dedicate yourself to this job. If you're doing that and it's on a resume, you want to make sure that you put down, the situation has been taken care of, or you're no longer doing it. Because when you're actively doing it and you're telling people that well, this is what I do actively, people are going to be hesitant to hire somebody.
Right. Jeff, I saw a question from Tom. I'd like you to answer that question. Your knowledge of that answer, I think I'd like to yield to.
Is there a good SW product that can scan your resume against job requirements and recommend edits to get past the ATS system? Well, there's a program out there called jobscan.co. It is .co, not .com.
Yeah.
The free version gives you like 5 different times before it then wants to charge you. You can always go clear your cache and do it again, or go jump on it via incognito mode, and you should be able to do it more often. The thing you got to be careful of is if you copy the entire job description and you include vacation benefits, 401k, and everything like that, you don't have those terms on your resume. So make sure you only copy the job description, the part of the job description that would be pertinent to what you're trying to compare yourself to. So that way it'll get better. You're never going to hit 100%. You're probably never going to be in the 90s, but it's just a matter of what can you do to get yourself up higher, and using those keywords. And like Rex said, making sure those keywords are all the way through your resume. You just don't want to list it once. Kurt Vondermatter, who's a retained search consultant here in Dallas, does a LinkedIn presentation. When he searches for people using the LinkedIn recruiting package, one day he went and put in a term, and boom, up comes this person. And when he looked at this person's profile, the term only popped up one time in the entire profile. Well, he went, obviously this person doesn't really have that experience, and moved on. So making sure, as Rex said, making sure you have those key words in every job description and in your, talking about that is going to move you up and make it, recruiters want to see it all throughout the resume. All right, that is Rex's presentation. I appreciate everybody being with us this afternoon. We do have a few handouts that are up there. There were a couple of things that popped up in the chat window. Number one was about references. Personally, I believe you don't add your references until they ask for it. I think the only exception would be is if you know the vice president of the company you're applying to, you may want to list that, because it would show that you have a connection inside the company that may be worth pursuing. But also you want to contact that person and have him get your resume to the right person. So personally, I don't think references really belong on resumes. You want to wait until they ask for it, unless it is somebody who can help you. When they see the name and they go, oh yeah, well, this person's important, I need to talk to this person. The second thing was somebody mentioned something about putting keywords in white font. Don't do that. ATS systems, you'd be very surprised what a resume looks like when it comes out of an ATS system. It converts all that white text, everything black. No matter what color your text is, it makes it all black. So I would not do it. I think it's being deceptive. Put those keywords, make sure it's in every job that you've done. Make sure the keywords are in. There's another presentation we have that the gentleman says you should always have, if you have a standard 2-page resume, you need to create like a cover page. And at the bottom of that cover page, that's where you put a bunch of keywords, and you list 3 or 4 bullet points at the top. I'm trying to think of the guy's name who talked about it, but it was a prior session we had several months ago of what he recommends as far as getting over. So, but I would not put keywords in white print. All right, let's see here. If you'd like to get any of our handouts, we've got some handouts out there that you can download. Just go to the careerusa.org website, click on resources, go down to where it says video and handouts. And when you go down here to effective resumes, you'll see we've got a sample T cover letter, we've got sample resume, sample bios, action words that you can use to add to your resume to spiff some stuff up. So you can check it out. Also, this link right here will take you to the effective resume playlist that has all of the people who have spoken in the past, and you can go back and watch any of those at your leisure. Career DFW, Career USA, we're putting on training 4 days a week. Please join us tomorrow morning. The job search scorecard. We are going to be meeting tomorrow morning. If you live in the DFW area, please come join us in person. Christ United Methodist Church, 3101 Coit Road, corner of Parker and Coit. If you're outside the DFW area, join us on Zoom or Facebook Live. The job search scorecard. Dr. Glenn Earl put this together about 10, 12 years ago. He was part of our group, and he came up with a scorecard and assigned points to different things that you do in your job search. The things that are the most effective got the most number of points. And he's going to talk about how he came up with this point system, and then how do you know when you've done enough? And this is how he set goals, so that every day when he hit X number of points, he knew, okay, I have done everything I can do in my job search today. I'm not going to sit here for another 4 hours and beat my head against the wall. I need to take a break and do something for me. So come join us tomorrow. We'll have handouts for everybody who's part of the group. We will get handouts to everybody if we have your email address, and we'll be glad to send those out. We are not going to have any sessions for the next 2 weeks. Everybody, please have a Merry Christmas, a safe and happy New Year. Our next effective resume session will be on January 18th. This session has been recorded. You will be able to see it on the Career DFW Facebook page or the Career USA YouTube channel. On the Career USA YouTube channel, if you don't follow that link that you saw on the Career USA website, click on playlist, and every video that I upload goes into a playlist. This video will be up there in about 2 or 3 hours. You'll be able to go back and watch it if you'd like, but any of the prior sessions are all there by clicking right here. Just hit view full playlist. You'll see all the different people who've spoken. You're welcome to join the Career DFW or Career USA LinkedIn groups. You do not need to live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area to join the Career DFW group. That's just, I started each group when I started each of the websites. If you're not receiving emails about our workshop, join the Career USA mailing list. You could just scan this QR code and just send a blank email, or scan or send a blank email to Career USA, the +subscribe at groups.io. You'll never be spammed, but what you will get is the topic of the day, the title of the day, and most importantly, the Zoom link of the day. Please remember, Career DFW, we're a 501c3 nonprofit organization. All of our speakers are volunteers. I'm a volunteer. Everything I've done over the last 15 years has just been to help you in your job search. So thank you for joining us, everybody. If we don't see you tomorrow morning, have a very Merry Christmas and a safe and happy New Year, and we'll see you in 2024.